So today we're opening up a new 8-port, 8/16 port KVM that we're going to try to get working with the Intellikeys and get some adaptations going. This thing is significantly larger. It came in that big box over there, about 3 feet long, and it's much heavier. And I hope you like cables, because my God, there are a lot of cables. It comes with 16 HDMI cables, because each of the 8 ports can have 2 monitors. So you have a lifetime supply of HDMI cables. For the connections for the keyboard and mouse, now this one, instead of that composite cord, it uses the USB hub sort of cord. This is USB 3 hub. There are 8 of those for the 8 potential computers. The other thing it has is it has both a wired and an IR wireless remote for changing between them. So that's kind of interesting that it has that. And then there's some brackets if you wanted to mount it, and the very skinny instruction manual per usual. Now here's the actual device. One thing I noticed that before I go too much further, I wanted to warn you, if you didn't know, this one does not have analog audio. So it does not have analog audio. So if that is a showstopper, let me know right away, and I'll package this back up. But other than that, it looks interesting. I haven't plugged it in yet, but here, let's take a look at the front panel a little bit. You have physical buttons, decently spaced apart, not great, not horrible. You have a LED display, a 7-segment display there. That for, sorry, my focus isn't working great, but that's for the channel. You have the IR entry for the IR wireless remote. You have a power light. You have a hotkey on and off button. So this is similar to the other one. It has a little tiny button to turn hotkeys on and off. We'll probably have to have it off, and an associated LED with that. Interestingly, unlike the other one, there is a small reset button here. I'll have to see what that does. So if we need to wire an external reset, I may tie into this versus the back. So let's take a look at the back. Oh, okay, a lot of ports. So here you have, for each of your machines, the 8 machines, you have the USB hub connection and 2 HDMI connections. Now these are just video, so it's not, again, it's not like that composite cord we saw on that other one. And then in the output area, you have a USB 3, 2 connections here, and you have the dedicated mouse and keyboard ports here. Now again, unlike the 4-port one, this one does not have any ports on the front. They're all on the back, which I think for your situation is going to be better. These 2 jacks here are not audio. Well, I take that back. Maybe one of them is audio. This looks like an audio out. So it's probably taken HDMI audio and outputting it. I'll have to check the manual for that. So more to come on that. But again, it doesn't have the plain analog ins. It must be doing HDMI audio. This other port is IR, so this is for the an IR extender. It does come with an IR extender if the front panel one is not accessible, which they often are. And did I say these already? These are the outputs for the monitors. Over here you have a on-off switch. You have a USB mini that is connected to the wired remote switcher. You have the power input, and oh Lord, an RS-232 port. Boy, you don't see many 9-pin RS-232 ports here. But there we go. That's got to be for some firmware upgrades or whatnot. The build quality, it's very similar to other ones that we've seen. It's all metal case. It's really quite heavy. This has got to be 5 or 6 pounds. Got big old feet on the bottom of it. This is really not going to move around at all. So it looks like a really good device. The proof will be in the pudding, though, if it works properly with the Intellikeys. And that it is nice. I think I like this one for the fact that it has both the wired. This is the wired remote, kind of a big clunky thing, and then the IR remote. I like this idea because this seems to me to be something that's hackable. So if we needed to have bigger buttons or some other way of switching, this is, especially with the IR, because we could do IR with a bunch of different things. We don't even have to use their remote. We could learn from this remote and then have a custom thing. So all sorts of nutty stuff. So the big difference here again, no analog audio input. It does have this handy reset thing, which I may try to get into to do a reset, a remote reset, and just a whole bunch of computers can be hooked to it. So I hope you enjoy cables. More to come.